Hello, welcome to another talk on money, business, and investing. My name is Jose, I'm the founder of the company and brand here at Master Investor. If you're new to our community, welcome. Ensure to subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms. We are delivering high quality financial education every day. So if your goals are to improve your financial IQ and learn how to actively invest instead of giving the money away to somebody else to invest it for you, then this channel is going to be useful, and it's going to also help you ultimately build the asset column. Okay, we all have a financial statement, and we have an asset column, liability column, an income column, and expense column. A lot of people have never seen themselves on a piece of paper and what their wealth and finances look like. All they see is their bank account statements, but that's not a financial statement. So if you're interested in learning about the basics of investing in money and what is money today and how it has evolved, the changes in the law along the way, because once we have the new rules of money and we adopt the context of the ultra wealthy, then we can truly build wealth. And wealth means that we have freedom, total freedom. A lot of people think that money is what makes an individual wealthy, and it's not, because we have a lot of people in the world with money in their bank account saved up because they work for what type of income? Earned income. Remember, we know that there are three types of income that exist. Earned income, which comes from a job or a salary, or even if you're self-employed, right? If you only have to show up to see the clients and you cannot make money without being there, then it's a job. You're self-employed, but it's not a business, because a business runs on itself. So an employee and a self-employed work for earned income, and they pay the highest in taxes. And then we have the business owner and the inside investor on the right side of the cash flow circle. And business owner, we control and own systems that do the selling and selling for us. And inside investor is a capitalist, is a master investor, which we control the cash flow of our businesses and we reinvest it into another cash flowing asset. We make money work hard to make more money through sound investing, because we understand the basics of business and investing. We go back to the basics, just like you see every master always helping other people become more aware of the topic that we're mastering, and going back to the very basics, because that's really what makes us greater. So we have to study the greats and then become greater, because we have more tools today, we have more information, and then we can avoid mistakes that are necessary to make if we just listen to the mentors that we have. But we have to choose them very carefully and wisely, right? Because we only have 24 hours a day, so how much can we listen to and who are we listening to? If you're learning something from this channel, make sure you give us a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, please let us know, reach out, okay? We have our website, check out the links in the description. They are there to give you information, tools, resources to help you start building the asset column and passive income. Rule number one in our community is that we work to build passive income and make money work hard. So the second type of income that exists is capital gains income, which comes from investing. And it stacks at a lower bracket than earned income, okay? And in many instances, we can use the law. For example, if we're talking about the asset class of real estate, we can use a law that is called the 1031 exchange, and we have to meet certain requirements in order for that law to apply to us and be able to give us the benefits of deferring taxes, because we are moving the gains, the profits of selling that real estate property into a new cash flowing asset within a certain amount of time, so that we don't have to pay taxes. So when we play on the right side of the cash flow circle as a business owner and inside investor, then we literally have the opportunity to minimize taxes legally to zero. So a lot of people in the world that are financially uneducated think that the ultra wealthy are greedy or they're doing something illegal because they pay zero in taxes, when they find out that we don't pay taxes little as possible, because number one, the United States was built with the foundation of paying as little as possible in taxes. This is a capitalist country, and this is a capitalist system. So it favors the business owner and the inside investor, which is a master investor. It ultimately is a capitalist. That's the highest level of an investor, okay? And we're gonna learn how to actively invest. We're not giving our money away to anybody, right? So, and if you're an existing partner or subscriber, welcome back. I appreciate you keeping Master Investor working. This is for all of us. This is so that we are aware of the ultra wealthy mindset, the new rules, to keep us updated with everything that's going on in the business world, so that we can utilize the tools to prepare for any type of economy. Remember, the economy goes up and down. So as an inside investor and a business owner, we need to prepare for any type of economy, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, which is diversify among the 5 asset classes that exist today. Maybe in the future will be more asset classes, because there's always something that the government will back up as an asset class. Okay, and then I'm going to give them to you right now, 5 asset classes. I want you to remember them, because as an entrepreneur, if we're starting out on our career as building passive income and launching our business and so forth, if it's your first time launching one, then you need to understand these 5 different asset classes so that you can pick whichever is the one that you want to go into first to build passive income and sometimes capital gains income. It depends on which asset class it is, right? But the point that I want to make is that we must focus on passive income, because that's where true wealth comes from, because it gives us total freedom. Passive income comes in ongoingly. Okay, so for example, the 5 asset classes that exist: number 1, real estate; number 2, business; number 3, crypto; number 4, paper assets; and number 5, commodities. They all require financial education. Everything that we have inside of our community is helping understanding on how to invest in those asset classes. Okay, so we have 3 ebooks right now: the 10 new rules of money. We have how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, and how to invest in crypto to build wealth, understanding Bitcoin and blockchain. Crypto today is not just an asset class and an asset to invest for capital gains income like it used to. Now it's a currency, is the new money in town. So now we can pay each other with crypto. We can pay other businesses because they are accepting crypto. And also the government has backed up crypto and said, hey, crypto is the new currency. Okay, it's a new currency in the world. So we can use it as it goes up. As we invest and it goes up, we can use those gains. So it's very liquid. And it's important that we understand how to build wealth on crypto, because it's something that is early on right now to catch that trend that is going to go up. Okay, and everything goes up and down. The idea is that we diversify among the 5 different asset classes so that we protect for any bad economies and hedge for inflation. And that's how we truly do it. There are a lot of people that talk about diversifying, but it's just in paper assets with mutual funds, bonds, and ultimately all those are packages of stocks and paper assets. And so if the market crashes, the investor loses everything. So that type of diversification is for the naive. The diversification that we talked about inside of our community, as you already know, I've been saying this for many years, and many times I come online and say this all the time, right? It's diversification. When we're talking about the ultra wealthy, it means among the 5 asset classes. So ultimately, we want our businesses to buy other businesses, other investments, because that way we tap into what is called the velocity of cash flow. And that's what we want to be in the fast track, where we print the money legally for free because we have recouped the initial capital back, or we have a business that is paying for that new business that we acquired, the new asset or investment that we are building. So everything recycles back to the investment column or the asset column, and we create more passive income and capital gains income. Those are the 2 types of income that we can get from investing. And when we do real estate and we get passive income, we can also tap into something that is called phantom cash flow, which is derived from a healthy commercial real estate investment that's producing passive income. And therefore we can tap into that type of income, which it shows up somewhere else, such as taxes, depreciation, appreciation, and so forth. There are several different things that we can apply into our commercial real estate properties so that we can take advantage of those benefits and capitalize even more through phantom cash flow, okay? But the 2 main types of income that we can get from investing is capital gains income and passive income. And passive income is taxed at the lowest bracket. So when we combine debt, loans, mortgage, the bank's money, other people's money, private lending, whatever type of credit, even a credit card, any type of debt, okay, and whichever form it is, it's tax-free. And a lot of people don't understand, and they just don't know that. They haven't been educated about this. And the reason why it's tax-free is because the economy works by printing money, due to the fact that President Nixon on 1971, August 15, separated the gold standard from the US dollar, because we were a country that, and still we are the country that consumes more than export. So we're usually buying things from other countries. So if the gold is attached to the dollar, then we're giving our gold away, the real money. And we couldn't afford that. You understand? Because if we're giving dollars that are attached to gold, that means we have to give all the gold to the other countries. And so we lose the real asset, which is money, real money, which is gold, because it's limited, right? And that is like gas money, as I like to call it, because it's really, that's what, today, if anything, it's better to put money into gold and silver. It's one of the asset classes, commodities, precious metals. Why? Because remember, since that day, on August 15, 1971, the dollar began to lose value more and more and more, going back to its intrinsic value, which is zero. It has lost 95% of its value since 1971, roughly around 95%. So it's not going to take another 30, 40 years to lose the 5% that is left. That's why we're seeing all this shift with digital currency and crypto, because it's probably eventually going to replace the dollar. Okay, and I think that's what it's looking like, but who knows? What we're going to do is that the government prints money every day. That's how it works, so we can print money too. Okay, and that's the best tool and the best form of creating wealth. We can become wealthy just like the government does, because the government says, okay, we need to do this. Okay, print that money. It's not there. And since that changed, money became debt. Money became monopoly money, fiat money, fake money. So the money that we had, it became paper money, because there's no gold behind it. It was just the confidence of the U.S. government and the economies around the world. 1974, we signed a petrodollar agreement with Saudi Arabia. And that agreement said basically that we will provide financial aid and military aid, I believe, to Saudi Arabia during those times, and infrastructure like help to make it grow. And they will give us, in exchange to that, the promise that they will only sell oil based on US dollars. In other words, every country that wanted to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, they will have to exchange their currency into dollars before they can buy the oil. But today, guess what? That agreement is being broken by Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is saying, okay, we're selling oil to whoever we want, and if they don't want to pay us in dollars, then we're accepting anyway their currency. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it's just something that is happening right now, and it's things that we need to be aware of, but nothing to be alarming by, because at the end of the day, the US dollar is still the number one currency, okay, in the world, and it's going to be like that. We're a power country, okay, and that's not going to be taken away from the United States, I don't think, ever. So we need to take advantage of everything that has shifted in the past 30, 40 years, because it works on our favor. I mean, if you're a small person that never came from anything, or you're somebody that also came from something, but you want to create your own thing, this is the time to do it, like never before. So like, think about all the tools that we have, these live streams and everything that we're doing to spread our message today, be everywhere at the same time. That is called omnipresent, everywhere at the same time. So creating videos, daily content, we can tap into capital online, we can create digital assets, we can put information package that people are paying for, because today there's so much information for free online that organized information is worth, the money is worth the exchange of that transaction, even though you may say, well, I can find that information online for free, but you have to go through the entire, let's say, pile of information. So it may take you forever, and you may go into a rabbit hole that may not even lead you to that information at all. And that's why creating information assets that are with information only, those are easy assets to create, but they're very profitable because it's digital. So the individual gets the satisfaction right away when they purchase it, and they get the right information, and we solve the problem, right? It might be a guide or something, it might be a recipe, it might be whatever it is. Think of things that you can actually package on information that people pay for. And for example, here at Master Investor, we have our ebooks, we have digital courses, and we're releasing our 4th ebook in the next month or so, how to raise capital to build wealth. So we're constantly creating digital assets because we can sell them worldwide. And our information is top notch. I mean, you start looking for the information that we have put together on our digital courses, it would be nearly impossible. I mean, it would be impossible literally to put it the way we have packaged it, because it's a structure to solve that problem, whatever the topic is. So how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, it's literally going to teach you how to do that. And it's going to show you step by step. So people rather pay for something that is like that instead of them looking for the information. So there are 2 types of people on the internet: people that are looking for information, people that are looking for a product to buy. And those products can be digital products. So today, that's a big deal. We can position ourselves right now in the world with digital products and even physical products that we don't even touch, because we can do drop shipping, we can do white labeling as well if we want to create our own brand, which I highly suggest, because you learn a lot by doing that. And you become a better businessman or a businesswoman. And we're going to be bringing a lot of exclusive interviews inside of our digital courses. So when you get our ebooks on our website, you have additional assets that comes with each ebook, because each book has turned into a digital course that is vivid, because we are adding assets as we move along. And when you get in today, you'll be grandfathered in for any other asset that we add in there, regardless of how much we're going to charge in the future. And whatever asset we add could be a very exclusive interview with a top celebrity that they're going to be adding value into that topic, okay? And you're going to have access to any other asset that we add in there for life. So that's a great benefit, and it's a good investment to make on ourselves, right? It's financial education. That's just about the only investment we will tell you where to make is in yourself. But anything after that, you have to decide that, okay? You have to choose an asset class, and you have to take a course. You have to read about the asset class that you want to build your asset on, and you have to learn and apply, and don't blame anybody else but yourself when you're building your businesses, okay? Because we're actively investing. So we have to learn, we have to incorporate, we have to do this, we have to do that. We're not the average investor at all, not at all. So we're literally hands-on on building our assets. Control is important for us. We don't want to give our control away. We don't want to give our money away to any institution to invest it for us. We don't want to put it in mutual funds, because those are fake assets, because they're not producing any passive income to us. And we're going to focus on building real assets that produce passive income and acquiring them. Some assets are already existing. So maybe you want to start a business, maybe you find a car wash close to your house that is being it's going to be, it's being sold on the market, and you found it. And now you're going over there and you talk to the owner, and for example, you find out that the owner just wants to kind of like sit back. He doesn't want to be so much involved. But now you look at the entire operation and you see, hey, they're making a lot of money every day, because look, they have this, they have that. You read the financial statements, you go through the entire due diligence, and you find out that the business is making X, Y amount every single day, right? After all expenses are paid, and it's healthy and it's good and it sounds good. And it sounds like it can even not only give you your money back that you're going to invest initially, but also it's going to provide enough passive income for you to also enjoy and do whatever you want, excess of cash flow. So at that moment, you can also negotiate. You can say, okay, well, there's something that's called seller finance, and we can obtain an asset without investing any of our money. And people say, you need money to make money. No, you don't. You need financial education. I mean, before you want to put money to work. And if you don't, then you're just gambling, right? If you go to a casino and you put some money, you can make millions of dollars in a casino, yeah, and win. But at the end of the day, it's called gambling for a reason, right? And so we're talking about calculated investments. We're talking about real assets, okay, that are producing passive income that we control with our companies. So now we're talking to the owner, and we're saying, okay, well, how about, he's saying, okay, this is my price. I've been on this, I've been holding this thing for 30 years. I have a clientele that knows me for years. This is a busy area. It's always going to be busy. It's always going to make you money. You can do different things. You can improve this. You can improve that. And you're taking notes, and everything, looks great. We're like going through the entire due diligence, and now we're going to make a decision whether we are going to acquire that. And we come up with this strategy that we can acquire this investment with seller finance, which means that we convince the current owner, to give us the entire operation, and we pay him this amount every single week or every single month for the next 30 years, or however we want to put down, right, on the terms. We give you your price, that's what you want, you give us our terms, okay? And then we can do seller finance. And a lot of the owners, if they've been on their business for 30 or the investment for 30 years as a real business, and then it's making that much money, then they'll be confident enough to say, okay, yeah, I'll do seller finance. Take the business over, give me this much every single week. And if you don't pay me, then on the contract we'll say we'll take the entire operation back. So if you miss one of the payments or whatever it is, you'll have clauses in there, but that's a form to get something, an asset, without having to use any of your own capital. That's called seller finance. And so become creative when we're raising capital, because the job number one of an entrepreneur is to learn how to raise capital, not only through direct sales by having sales funnels and getting people to tap into those ads and those sales funnels because they're looking for that solution, or they want to get educated on the solution that we're offering. And we're learning how to do marketing, because we cannot do just sales. Sales is one-on-one. Sales is knocking on people's doors. That's not what we're doing here. We're doing business and investing, and that means we want freedom. When we're talking about business investment, we're talking about total freedom, meaning that we're going to have businesses and investments that produces passive income and capital gains income whenever we're not working. Yeah, we're going to put the effort. We might stay awake many nights in a row because we're building the business or we're doing this, and yeah, it's going to take effort, it's going to take energy, it's going to take a sacrifice, it's going to take us learning new things, feeling uncomfortable majority of the time. And I always say, feel comfortable by being uncomfortable, because we're always stretching to become greater. And sometimes we're going to have to spend time alone, because maybe people are not going to see our vision yet. So you need to go back to your lab and just get to know yourself, get to read more and improve our mind, right? It's incredible how much we can push ourselves, how we can control our thoughts and manifest what we want if we're ethical and we doing it for the right reason. And no matter what happens in life, let's be always the right person. Let's always go for the right choice. Let's be the best version that we can be in any situation in life. And I think if we go for that, we will be great at anything that we do. But it's important that we master money, because money is going to be with us forever. Okay, it's a form of trading things. It's a form of manifesting things that we want to bring them into reality. So if you want to go somewhere and fly there, you're going to need that money to go there and fly there, right? And so it's important that we master that one element that unlocks all those options. The education that is needed for that is missing in the school systems, in the main school system of the United States, which affects all the schools. And ultimately also affects the schools in the world, right? Because the schools are created at least after 1902. John D. Rockefeller established the General Educational Board, and they instilled one mission, which was to create two types of people: employees and soldiers. Employees that work for the corporations of the wealthy, and soldiers that defend the corporations of the wealthy. And so from that point forward, they remove all financial education. They said, we're not going to put any entrepreneurship or anything of that, how to create wealth, how to launch your business, how to incorporate, none of that. People are going to come out of school thinking like an employee, wanting to have a secure job that gives them benefits, that gives them some type of pension, that gives them a paycheck every 2 weeks and 1 week vacation a year. and double pay if they work extra hours. People love that. And so we have to put our values in this order if we want to truly become wealthy. Number 1, wealthy. Number 2, comfortable. Number 3, secure. Majority of the population have them backwards. Have number 1, secure. Number 2, comfortable. Number 3, wealthy. And so they never become wealthy. They never really reach total freedom. By the time they get older, they're 65, they can't even live on that pension because they're going to find out it's gone. A lot of times it's gone. Number 1, because they didn't invest anything into their 401k. And if you didn't invest anything in your 401k, then that's the best thing you could have ever done, probably. Because those are fake assets. Mutual funds, 401ks, ETFs, bonds, any of that, CDs, those savings accounts, those are liabilities. Those are not real assets. Okay, because an asset puts money in our pocket whenever we're not working right now. So if it's not doing that and all it's doing is withdrawing money, then what happens is that it becomes a liability. It's not an asset. Onto that liability puts money in your pocket, then it's going to turn into an asset. But at that point, it's a liability. So you're going to have 30 years of a liability that you're going to put something into a liability, a 401k. It's withdrawing money every check or every month. In the hopes that when you retire, you'll have this much and they'll give you the whole explanation, but you don't know what's going to happen with those companies. Number 1, they're investing your money in the stock market, so you could have done that yourself by learning how to do that. And that's what we'll help people understand here, to become active investors, not to be a passive investor, because when you do that, it tells us that you have a lack of financial education and you're not going to master money. You're going to struggle majority of your life and you're always going to be worried about money. And that's not the game that we should be playing. The game is that we should utilize money as a tool to manifest all of our dreams. And the way to do that is by first focusing on how to master that thing, which is called money. And it takes financial education. It takes self-development every day, right? Together with the financial education, of course. That should never end because there's so much to learn. And we guarantee that here at Master Investor, we will give you the best financial education possible. That comes from the ultra wealthy mindset and is authentic, is real. It has actionable steps for anyone to take massive action and start building their own companies and start building their own assets. Even if it's small asset, who cares, right? Remember, all it takes to make $1 million per year is $2,750 plus per day. It's not much. If you have an asset that is bringing in, let's say, $1,000 a day, right? Because it's making 5 sales. But now if you increase those sales to 15, 20 sales, because you duplicate the ad or whatever tool you're using to create those sales, and now you bring in more sales on autopilot, then it's going to go up to $2,750. But even if it's $25 at the beginning, even if it's $10, at least we're making that while we're sleeping. It's money that we're not working anymore for. Yeah, we put the asset together, we spend time to put everything, to research, to do our due diligence, to learn things, to sit down, to take a course. But we're doing it because that is going to be a freedom unit to us. It's going to print money for us ongoing. And we're going to use that to buy more assets to the point where we have ongoing cash flow coming into our pocket. And we have the 3 E's of a master investor or a capitalist. Number 1, financial education. Number 2, financial experience. Number 3, excess of passive income. Our mission here at Master Investor is to elevate the financial well-being of humanity through high-quality financial education. Made simple, we look at opportunities to build passive income and true wealth. If you have any questions about today's talk, please let us know. Give us some feedback, okay? I appreciate everybody being here. And let's dive into why it's important to diversify among the 5 asset classes that exist. The main reason is because that's how we protect ourselves from any type of economy, and also that's how we hedge for inflation. And inflation is going to continue to go up because the government prints money. Remember, that's how it works. They print money, and so inflation rises. And because they print money, and not only physical money, Okay, there are about 135 million notes printed every single day right now, and it's not the Federal Reserve Bank that prints that money, it's another institution, but the Federal Reserve Bank controls the amount of money that goes in circulation. That's what it does. And it backs the printing, of course, of the government. So today we are $34+ trillion in debt, national debt. It's not going to be paid off ever because the government literally works in accumulating debt. It's not going to stop. That's why I said earlier, money is debt. It's created with debt. Debt is money. And that's why all debt is tax-free. So we can use debt to invest. If we have a credit card, don't use it to buy liabilities, only use it to buy an asset that will produce passive income or capital gains income, and will pay the debt service back, the interest of the credit card, and will also bring the capital back, right? We'll pay the entire capital back and will give us positive cash flow every time we make a payment to the bank. We're making a payment to ourselves because whatever is left over is ours to keep. And whenever we pay the credit card back completely, then whatever we are given to the credit card now becomes part of our positive cash flow. And now we have a freedom unit that we created from thin air. It wasn't our money that we used the credit card from the bank. It was the bank's money. Yeah, they lent it to our name, but it was their money. And it's printed. It's digital. It's not even there. It's a credit card. So we must treat our debt like any type of money, right? So if you have a credit card, treat it like you have cash. And don't think money as physical. You have to see it with your mind in order to be able to spend and be able to understand how to accumulate true wealth, which begins with financial literacy. That's the first step because it gives us control over our money, over our understanding of investments, so we don't give control to anybody, and we understand how to build assets from scratch, which majority of people never get to learn because they're always working for somebody else's asset majority of their life, and by the time they retire, their money is not even, they didn't invest in 401ks, which that's perfect, that's even better because people that invest in 401ks, they don't know that those companies are going to be there. What if the economy crashes by that time? You have nothing left and you give all this money away. And in 1974, when we signed the petrodollar agreement, we also created a RISA, which is the Employment Retirement Income Security Act, which basically was created as a way to take off the responsibility of the employers to having to give pension to the employees. In other words, if you don't invest in your 401k, then the employer is not obligated to give you pension. So it's a matching game. You put $100, then the government, the company you're working for the employer has to put $100 in. And it's a matching game. And so majority of people don't have enough to even pay for their bills at the end of the month. Therefore, they never get to invest. Remember, their values are secure. They want to feel secure. And number 2 is comfortable. And number 3, wealthy. By the time they think about becoming wealthy, it's too late. They have no energy. They haven't studied any of the financial education that will take them to become wealthy because they're spending 8 to 12 hours working at a job. So what is the main factor that people have which avoids them from becoming wealthy? It blocks them, it hinders them from becoming wealthy. What is it? What is the factor? Let me know. What would you be your wild guess what it is? That's right, the job. Why? Because it literally takes their most valuable asset from them, their time, 8 to 12 hours a day at a job, 6 days a week. Some people do 7 days a week. Almost 365 days a year. Yeah, they said if you do 18 minutes per day on any activity, by the end of the year, you have become like the top 10% of that activity. So you have become a great employee. And do we want to be that? If you do, and you love your job, and we need great employees, like great, people like doctors saving lives, and people that actually give their life because that's their passion, great, right? And I still believe they still need to master money. So not just give that money away because they make millions of dollars as an employee because they're high-paying employees. Doesn't mean that they should give their money away to somebody to invest it for them. And a lot of those people in the middle class, that's what they do. And it's better for them to invest it in themselves in their free time and learn about investing and learn how to take control. Instead of you giving millions of dollars to somebody else to invest it for you, then you learn how to do it. And you say, okay, I'm going to build this, I'm going to acquire this hotel, I'm going to start with this asset class, I'm going to acquire this e-commerce store that is for sale. There are many businesses online for sale too. Websites that are already built, they have already traffic, they already have sales. So if you have money, then use it to invest in your financial education and move that into a cash flowing asset or build one from scratch. But if you're somebody that's a high-paying job, that high-paying employee, that you need to be at your job every day, then you need to acquire something that is already in place, because you're spending a lot of time at your job, which is fine. And whenever you're ready to retire, at least you'll have assets that are producing passive income that you companies control. Nobody else controls for you. You can sell those assets, you can do whatever you want with those assets. And then by the time you're ready to retire, you can say, okay, how much I was making, how much you were making as a doctor or as a lawyer or as a dentist. Okay, now you have the same amount, even more, just from the assets that you start investing, the money that you were saving. And now you don't feel like you lost any type of income, because you're now going to have more time and you're going to probably even create more wealth. So yes, an employee and a self-employed can make a transition to a business owner and an inside investor, and you can play all the 4 players at the same time. There are people that do well as an employee, they have a high-paying job, and they also do great as an investor. They invest their money, they invest in their financial education because they love their job. They're not doing it because they have to pay the bills. They're doing it because they love it and they find a way to get paid on it. And it feels like they're dancing to work every day. They're learning and they're focusing on turning that money into wealth. So yes, you can start investing. So whatever situation you're in, whether you hate your job and you want to get out of that, then yeah, this channel is for you. This education that we're giving here at Master Investor is for you. And if you're someone that is already a person that is loving what you do and you're in your field and you're very devoted to it and you're going to do 10 more years, 20 more years on it, and you want to learn how to invest your money instead of you giving your money, then this is also for you. This is going to help you. This is for everybody that wants to take control of their finances and build true wealth. Okay, so we have data on each asset class, and that's what we're doing. We're emphasizing on each of the asset classes so that anybody can come here and say, okay, I want to invest in this asset class. Let me learn about this. Okay, so when you get in any of the courses that we have, you'll be grandfathered in for anything that we add in there moving forward. So make sure that you click the link in the description, give a thumbs up if you're learning something new from this talk, and of course, go to all the social media platforms that you use and follow us there, okay? Summary: everyone ought to diversify across a variety of asset classes. We shouldn't depend on a financial advisor to diversify our assets. Financial acumen is necessary for true diversification. The wealthy create these scams to keep majority of people in their place. These are the rules that others are expected to go by in order to remain an employee and prevent them from becoming wealthy. Meanwhile, we, the wealthy, get wealthier. And we're talking about scams like having a job and thinking that that's the way to create wealth, or 401k, investing in mutual funds and so forth. Those are fake assets. The fact that some of these schemes, these fake assets, right, like conserving money and working harder, saving money in the bank, you're losing money because inflation is going up and money is not longer real money. So it goes back to its intrinsic value zero, and the bank ends up lending that money to us, to people that understand how to put that money to work. So the savers are losers in the new economy, and good debtors are the winners. So working harder, formerly held water, is the reason why so many people fall for them. There used to be a price if we follow them, but no longer. The belief in diversifying in one asset class, like majority, do prevent them from really using their money to make a difference. As we have seen in early scams like pay off debt, live below your means, and save money. Those ideas are scams because the person that has the poor mindset, it keeps the person poor while the person thinks they are becoming wealthy, right? If they're telling you, hey, you look, it's going up in value, so now you feel happy. You're like, oh, you're working even harder at your job because you're like, I want to invest more money in that thing. It's going up in value. They told me on a piece of paper. We had a meeting on Friday, and they told us this and that the investments were going. That's not investing at all. That is called passive investing, and is really a liability what you're holding in disguise of being an asset. That's the biggest scam. They prevent many people from making further money with their money. That is to say, they maintain them in poverty. We will examine the wrong financial advice sales people give to others by saying build a diversified investment portfolio only in paper assets they mean for the long term. The fallacy of portfolio diversification. Diversification on only one asset class is only for naive people. One of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett, states that diversification is a protection against ignorance. Why would these prosperous and accomplished business people say things like this, since it is accurate? In the long run, we are all dead. Famous British economist John Maynard Keynes famously remarks. This was his way of saying that it was silly to think the economy will always balance out. This is the reason the Federal Reserve constantly modifies financial policy, for better or worse. They contend that for the economy to grow, government intervention is necessary. Interestingly, the financial industry complex does not view our finances in this manner. Rather, they advocate for long-term investments in a diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. Let me manage our money by buying paper assets that we never sell, in the hopes that the markets always go up for a fee, of course, is what they mean when they say this. Okay, so that's their pitch, right? Of the sales gurus online. They want your money because they earn a commission by having your money invested. They don't even make money the way they're telling you to make money. So it's just a big scam. This is a way of saying that it was silly to think the economy will always balance out. This misconception about a diversified investing portfolio goes something like this. Uneducated investors will say that they have enough money for retirement if they spread their investments across equities, bonds, and mutual funds and do nothing except watch them grow over time. This is a result of the unwavering conviction that markets increase magically over time. Everything is assured with the exception of death and taxes, according to the history of the financial markets, which includes both the Great Depression and the more recent Great Recession. And it covers every long-term investment, including stocks, bonds, and mutual funds that our financial advisors will advise us to purchase. Many of those who have been banking on these markets' steady long-term growth came to the terrible reality that if we are not ready to move, short-term market effects can completely destroy our financial situation. Many of those who have planned to retire during the Great Recession found themselves bankrupt after years of following the advice to accumulate a long-term diversified investment portfolio, which came from the wrong mentors, the wrong people, came from salespeople, no wealth entrepreneurs and inside investors. It is important to remember that until around 40 years ago, when individuals were compelled to manage their own retirement savings through programs like the 401k, financial planners were non-existent. The banks founded the financial planning sector in order to profit from those who lack financial literacy. The training required to become a financial planner only lasts 30 days. In the meanwhile, becoming a massage therapist requires more than a year of education. Ultimately, the illusion of the diversified investment portfolio is nothing more than a persuasive sales pitch that the uneducated about finance have fallen head over heels for. It has created a $75 trillion industry in the process. The appearance of actual portfolio diversification. Almost all financial advisors will tell us that diversification is essential to financial security. They intend to invest in mutual funds, stocks, and bonds by doing this. Sadly, this is not really diversification. Instead, it is focused on diversification within the single asset class of paper assets, which is where banks derive the majority of the profits from fees. The other asset groups, which includes business, real estate, crypto, and commodities, are essentially disregarded. The same shaky economy and investment strategy underpin everything we own when it is all still on paper. When the stock market declines, it does so globally and not just locally. If everything collapses and the market collapses, it won't matter if we invest in McDonald's and Microsoft. Investing widely in several mutual funds distributes the risk even farther. But when things go wrong, the hit will be the same and the danger remains the same. Investing across a variety of asset types as opposed to a variety of equities or stocks is true diversification. This is applicable to all asset classes. Our portfolio may appear diversified if we have investments in houses, condominiums, apartments, but they're all still real estate. So it's not real diversification. We must go into the 5 asset classes, right? Rather, we require actual diversity, which includes holding in real estate commodities like gold and silver, businesses, crypto, and of course, in some paper assets. 5 types of asset classes. Investing in each of the 5 asset groups represents true diversification. These are: number 1, business, being the owner of a cash flowing enterprise. Number 2, real estate, possessing cash flowing investment properties. Number 3, paper assets, exchanging technological investments for paper assets. Number 4, commodities, using assets like gold, silver, oil, and other commodities as a hedge against market fluctuations. Number 5, crypto, using digital currency such as Bitcoin as an alternative payment mechanism and investment vehicle. All 5 asset classes should be included in a portfolio as an inside investor or a capitalist or a master investor, and we should focus on 1 or 2 of them to start building at the beginning. Once we start creating that excess of cash flow, we begin to move that into other asset classes as we become more aware about them, because we are investing in our financial education on whichever asset class we are going to invest. As we learn, we apply in our active investing. And it's important that we become better every day, because that way we can attract and lead smart people to solve and fulfill the mission of each investment or business that we are creating. Most people are only invested in paper assets and they have no knowledge about what they are investing in. So they listen to financial planners that are fake financial planners, fake teachers, fake investors, and hold a basket of paper assets for the long term, hoping the market will always go up. And if people are as ignorant as Warren Buffett claims, then that is a great idea. Or if people are fool, as we've been saying, no our words but theirs, it is not a good idea, though if our goal is wealth, right? So if your goal is wealth, it's not a good idea to diversify in one asset class. If our goal is wealth, it's important that we diversify among the 5 different asset classes, and we learn how to do that daily, right? We have to invest in our financial education ongoingly. The first step towards real portfolio diversification is financial education. The true problem with this is that we are giving someone else power over our money when we purchase any paper assets at all. When a CEO makes a poor choice, the stock plummets and we are forced to bear the consequences. Selling paper assets is the only way we can maintain control over them. We are merely crossing our fingers and playing the waiting game when we hold on to them, which is a strategy: buy, hold, and pray. It's too risky. But as you know, inside of our digital courses, we have strategies inside of how to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on. We explain in one of the chapters how to cash flow, how to create passive income by renting and by doing put options on our stocks, on our paper assets. So if you want to learn how to do that, it takes a higher level of financial education, but it's highly recommended. Remember, rule number 1 of our community here at Master Investors is that we work to build passive income and make money work hard through sound investing, which will also bring capital gains income. But that is our main focus, to build passive income. So whatever asset class we're going to invest, we first ask ourselves, can I make passive income from this asset class? Right? What's the best strategy to make income from this from this asset class? And then we begin to do our research, due diligence. We begin to buy the right information from the mentors, right? And we need to align ourselves with the right group of people. Today we have the ability to do our research online and really tap into any type of mentor we want. So I encourage everyone to go out there and look for the right mentors, read the right books, start with our books here. Of course, Master Investor is always going to be a place to go to check yourself in regards to keeping ourselves aligned with the ultra wealthy mindset, and that we are following the path of true financial freedom and wealth, because it has to do with total freedom. Wealth is measured with time, not with money necessarily, because a lot of people have money in the bank, but that doesn't mean that they're free, right? They have to show up to make the money, to make that paycheck go to that savings account. So that is not wealth. Wealth is measured in how far we can live without worrying about paying our bills, live the lifestyle that we desire, even increasing our expenses and our liabilities columns along the way without shrinking. How far can we go without working? That is how true wealth is measured. Some people can only last 6 months with their savings, and because they have no assets. So the true game is in building our assets column with real assets that we control with our companies, so that they produce excess of cash flow and we can thrive from that income, from passive income and capital gains income. And that way we don't make any money through our person. So on our taxes is zero. We don't even do taxes personally because it's zero. We don't pay ourselves a paycheck. Our companies make all the revenue. Even if we're starting with affiliate marketing, right? If you're starting with somebody else's product that you want to promote, you want to create direct sales, and those products could be subscription products too. We're going to create a partnership with them, and we're going to incorporate a company so that that company, when we start getting those sales, they send the money to the business account of that company that we control. We don't want to send that money to ourselves, because then we have to pay 1099. We have to pay taxes on that money. We don't want to do that. We want to turn that money into passive income and then reinvest it back into our assets column so that we can build another asset. And of course, and pay any liabilities that you have that you want to pay, because ultimately we're building that asset column to pay for expenses and any liability that we have that we want to acquire. And at the end, we get everything for free. If we want to get a jet, okay, we figure out how to acquire an asset that will pay for that jet every single month, the maintenance and everything. And that's how we get everything for free. So think of the assets that you're going to be acquiring in the next 10 days and the next month, the next 2 days, which is the asset class that we're going to be focused on. Number 1, real estate. Number 2, business. Number 3, crypto. Number 4, paper assets. Number 5, commodities. Furthermore, if we transfer those paper assets into a 401k, the individual loses even more control over them. They get locked in, and the investor incur penalties if they withdraw the money or take out a loan against them. Financial education provides financial intelligence, which is necessary for true diversification. Continue employing our financial planner, investing just in paper assets if we don't feel the need to become more financially literate. If you want to stay average, then that's what you're going to do. Listen to other people that are not real teachers, that are not real financial investors. Here at Master Investor, we're full of financial investors, not teachers. We're actively doing this. We're actively investing. We're all building our assets column. We're all building our brands. We're turning companies into brands because they have intrinsic value, which means that they have something that is unique that no one else can take from us. The legalities are in order. It could be a patent, it could be a intellectual property, logo that is registered, etc. And it has business integrity, which means it's making a profit because it's solving the problem that it says it's going to solve in the mission. And it's doing it ethically and legally. So it has business integrity. And so that's how we turn a company into a brand. And we want to do that because we don't want to just have or build a commodity that can be replaced for something else, a competitor. Continue. After all, those investments are designed to be easily managed by even a monkey. However, if our goal is wealth, then we should disregard all of that nonsense financial advice that you hear on the internet and people giving the wrong advice all the time and telling people to do the wrong things when it comes to building wealth, which suggests creating a variety of an investment portfolio over time within the same asset class, right? Just mutual funds, 401k, ETFs, that is nonsense. Stay away from that advice if you truly want to create total freedom and have control over your money. Instead, we should become a more knowledgeable individual about finance and start pursuing actual diversification among the 5 asset classes that are available to all of us today. And we learn that when we start investing in whichever asset class, we're going to become more powerful because we're actively doing it and we're becoming part of the 3%. Remember the rule of the 3% that we talked about yesterday? If you haven't watched yesterday's live stream, make sure you go over there and watch it because we had a great time talking about the 3% rule, which basically makes up the 3% of the entire population, the ultra wealthy. That's why we have the ultra wealthy mindset here. We're going to be developing our financial IQ every day, going back to the basics. Tune in every day if you want to learn about money, business, and investing. If you have any questions, please let us know. I appreciate you being here today on another valuable podcast, bringing you the good and bad news of money, the business principles that work in on economies. You have the 5 different asset classes that exist and why it is essential to invest among the 5 asset classes to build passive income and sometimes capital gains income. Bring you the good and bad news of money, the business principles that work in all economies. I'll talk to you in the next podcast. Thank you for listening. Bye for now. Stay extraordinary and wealthy.